Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. It's the last day of what has been a stunning Premier League season, I would say. It has been last day of a Premier League season, especially for City fans. It was filled with everything. Excitement of Erling Haaland arriving in England, excitement of seeing City play with a striker since 3, 4, 5 years, literally, since we used to play regularly with a striker under Manuel Pellegrini. So everyone wondered how would be the relationship between De Bruyne, Haaland, how would Haaland adapt to life, what would Pep do with the wingers, how would Pep deal with a striker who couldn't come into the midfield, could it be a Zlatan Ibrahimovic situation, lot of doubts, and then going into doom and gloom in January, February, and then from there rising up and claiming the Premier League title, rightfully claiming the Premier League title, stomping to the Premier League title from a team who has been top 93% of the season, 260 days. They have been top. City have been barely top for a month and a half. That's it. So stunning Premier League season in many ways. Stunning Premier League season that could drive us on for the next decade at least. That's how much stunning this Premier League season has been. It's been wonderful. And today, I just, 4 5 minutes ago, I just switched on Hotstar, the app on which I watch this thing, and they're showing City left the Premier League title, and it's always a great feeling to see that. Brentford will not be easy today. Brentford will not be easy. I think I have not seen their team, but I think they're going fairly strong. I'll just have a look at their team and we'll see how it is. Generally, I see the opposition team as well, but today I haven't seen because I'm fascinated by the team selection that Pep Guardiola has actually done. It's interesting. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let us see the Brentford lineup. Raya in goal, O. Henry, Ben Mee, Pinnock, Aaron Hickey, the right back, with whom we have been linked actually this season, especially in the January February sort of window when Kyle Walker has just been out of favor. Very good right back, he can come inside, fits the Pep Guardiola bill. Damsgaard, Onyeka, Janel, Jorgensen, Visa, Mbumo, they've gone strong, they've gone full strength, except probably Janelt in the midfield. Brentford have gone full strength. So it's going to be an interesting match because we have not gone full strength. In fact, it's our B team midfield, I would say, not even B team, C team midfield probably, with no Rodri, with Calvin Phillips playing there, and with Phil Foden in the midfield. Phil Foden's interesting. We'll actually get on to that Phil Foden thing in a while. But Cole Palm, I mean, three people for me. It's very interesting looking at where they are playing. Cole Palmer, Sergio Gomez, and Phil Foden. Of course, Calvin Phillips. We know that Calvin Phillips will play in that midfield as a pivot. He'll use that Rodri role. We know that. But Sergio Gomez and Phil Foden are actually very interesting choices, I must say. Is this an audition for Phil Foden for the midfield for next season? Because there's no space on the wings. Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez is there. Probably he'll give us 1 2 years. And seeing Pep Guardiola's team selection, I think Cole Palmer could be in there as well on the wing. Cole Palmer has always been seen as the heir of Riyad Mahrez actually, so that's interesting. So where would you play Phil Foden? Because Phil Foden is a generational talent. He's a talent like no other. I would even put the ceiling of Phil Foden to be above Jack Grealish, to be above Riyad Mahrez. Probably you could argue that his talent could be almost put on the same level as Erling Haaland. I know that's a big thing to say, but at 22, look at I know Haaland's also 22, but look at how Phil Foden has progressed as well. His passes, his dribbling skills, his vision, the way he can play those passes from deep as well as from close range, the way he can dribble past players, his positional awareness. So Phil Foden's up there with generational talents of our this thing of our time. So how do you make sure that he plays most of the games? Gonna be a really really tough one for Pep Guardiola, I would say. The players are working out into the middle. These last two games, Brighton and Brentford, are actually tough. They're actually tough, and honestly, even if Arsenal fans think that we should have pushed City to the end, they dropped points against Brighton and stuff. I feel if we had to win that Brighton game, we would have won it. Look at the chances Haaland had. Actually, we should have been three. We should have won that match by 3-1, 4-1, and all. And we didn't concede much defensively. NC so short, and we were there to block everything. So I think if we had to win these last matches, we would have won. There was no doubt about it. I think these last two Premier League matches, Brentford was probably the trickiest of all of the fixtures, along with the Goodison Park thing, I would say. Because the Brighton fixture for me, the way Brighton played, it would have been difficult for most teams. The high intensity of press, but City love teams who press them. Arsenal for me has, along with Brighton, have had the best press in the Premier League this season. But look at what happened to Arsenal. We just picked them off. Haaland, De Bruyne, and Haaland was through. We repeated kind of the same principles against Brighton. It's just that Haaland missed chances. Haaland was through 1v1. Haaland missed an open header. Haaland shot pull, goal cancelled. Phil Foden scored. And there were at least one or two more chances. Could have easily have been 5-1, 6-1 there. So don't read much into Arsenal fans saying we should have carried it on. City drop points at Brighton. Finally, nothing. We didn't play our first team squad as well there. Big test for Calvin Phillips. I call him the Yorkshire Pearl, so it would be very, very interesting on what Calvin Phillips will do. Aymeric Laporte, it's gonna be a farewell game for him. I think I don't expect he starts the FA Cup. Might come as substitute. I don't know, but Champions League, you do not know. He'll not start for sure, but he might come on as a substitute. You never know. But it's a farewell home game for Aymeric Laporte. We can be sure of that. Can be sure that he's going next season. I don't see Aymeric Laporte being in the pecking order of a defense unless there are injuries. Diaz, Stones, first choice, along with Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji, all four will play. And then Kyle Walker's there, who's been magnificent this season, especially the last few games against Real Madrid and against Arsenal. Whenever it has mattered, Kyle Walker has been the most magnificent player. So Arsenal, both the Arsenal, the second leg at Etihad, he shut down Martinelli. Against Real Madrid, both the legs, he was just magnificent. So Aymeric Laporte is literally fifth in the pecking order. In a way, you would say, just talking about defensive players, I think he's below Rico Lewis as well. So he's sixth in the pecking order or seventh in the pecking order. He's seventh in the pecking order, Aymeric Laporte, behind Rico Lewis as well. So I don't think Aymeric Laporte will stay at the club. 27, you're really coming into your prime as a defender. You're coming into the age as a defender where you could have the best 5-6 years of your career. And why would Aymeric Laporte waste those sitting on the bench? So we have to praise for Aymeric Laporte going. And news is that Josko Guardiola is a man who is gonna replace Aymeric Laporte. So that's actually gonna be interesting. I think Josko Guardiola is just gonna be an upgrade on Aymeric Laporte. Can play left back, can play midfield, can play left centre back. 1v1s, Josko Guardiola is probably one of the best in the world, along with Nathan Ake. I would say Nathan Ake and Kyle Walker, pure 1v1s. His strong, his his first touch and his striking ability is in the box is almost like a striker. Josko Guardiola also a lot. You get Josko Guardiola, and I just can't wait to see how the opposition fans react. I can't beat them have their salted ears again because Josko Guardiola will be a statement. Josko Guardiola in this Pep Guardiola system will just be superb. I would say he would just turn into a beast at 23. And remember that age of 23. Who else did we get in at 23? We got in Ruben Diaz at 23. Josko Guardiola is a leader as well. Suddenly you have Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, Josko Guardiola, who are leaders there in the defense. Three people who are leaders there in the defense. JSK is not in my lifetime, but it's every time. Rest in peace, Sir Alex Ferguson. That is true. That is true. It's every time. It's every fucking time for Alex Ferguson. Even this season, 6-3, right under the nose of Sir Alex Ferguson. But the ultimate disrespect could be for Sir Alex Ferguson to win the treble right under his nose by winning the FA Cup. I know it will not be easy, but Bayern Munich wasn't easy. RB Leipzig wasn't easy after the first leg. Arsenal wasn't easy when you had a chance to almost lose the championship in February when you played them first. Not in the best of form, we were without a left back. Nothing has been easy this season. Real Madrid wasn't easy when Vinicius Junior was scored that banging goal in the first leg. Nothing was easy this season, but still we came through it. That's what this team represents. Desire, determination, coming out of hopelessness when we didn't have a freaking system in February to go on and be in contention to win a treble. Be within two matches, be within 180 minutes probably of winning a treble. That's what this team represents. This match is just going to be so physical. Not Brighton, Brentford are actually putting two strikers up, and they're pumping long balls into the strikers. But this is something that will actually suit Aymeric Laporte because there's no even Tony. I know Mbumo is a bit an iffy customer, is a bit speedy customer, but balls into the box, balls into the strikers. Laporte is excellent aerially. I think he's one of the best defenders aerially. City. Wonderful defending there, excellent defending. City is struggling a bit coming out into the box, but Cole Palmer's playing in the midfield, I think. Wonderful skill by Cole Palmer over there. That's the pausa that Pep Guardiola is looking for. Look at what Cole Palmer has done. Sergio Gomez, Calvin Phillips, Cole Palmer in the midfield. Calvin Phillips there. Use Phil Foden. Where is Phil Foden playing there? Can't see him. What a ball by Nathanake. Wonderful ball by Nathanake. Ah, what a strike by Cole Palmer over there. Look at it. Wonderful play there in the middle. Sergio Gomez, Cole Palmer running onto it. This is vintage football by Manchester City. It's gone out for a corner. Julian Alvarez. Wonderful play by City. It's just mesmeric in the middle. Sergio Gomez, Cole Palmer. The ball there from Nathan Ake. The ball, I mean, how much has Nathan Ake improved? Foden was free there, but Cole Palmer had to take the shot. Good save by Jose Raya. But how much has Natanake improved on the ball? His passing ability. I probably think Natanake is as good as Zinchenko now in terms of putting those attacking balls in. Probably not the ball retention, probably not that ball dribbling, but in terms of putting those passes in, I think Natanake, I can compare Natanake to Zinchenko. It's just been that good. First 2 minutes, City were under the cost, but Rico Lewis there. The ball control in the middle has been exceptional. Julian Alvarez, Natanake, Cole Palmer, sorry, Sergio Gomez, and that's a foul in favor of City. Ball retention is excellent. Calvin Phillips, Sergio Gomez, Cole Palmer in the middle. It's just been superb. Calvin Phillips is good in that moment. Riyad Mahrez with the free kick. Not a good ball, but actually it was a good ball intercepted by the Brentford defender and Rico Lewis, Nathan Ake, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden running at the Brentford defense. Foden on the outside. That's a corner for City. Yesterday I was seeing a video about Xabi Alonso, and it was like it was very good analysis, and it was the title of the video was about Xabi Alonso, the slowest midfielder, but he was unpressable. So good. And I was seeing his long range vision, his passing, and I actually thought Calvin Phillips could become that. I don't say that he has that level of Xabi Alonso, but he could go on to that level under Pep because the longer range passing of Calvin Phillips is actually superb. Again, not comparing him to Xabi Alonso, but just imagine how much he can develop under Pep. He has that canny ability of playing that Perlo-esque through balls and stuff, and he could just. He's a pass master. That's why Pep Guardiola has got him, which people don't remember. People don't seem to understand. He's had a bad season, but he can give you things which a Declan Rice doesn't. He can give you things which a Rodri doesn't, which is that passing ability, long range passing abilities. Long range passing ability is superb. Calvin Phillips. That is what people don't seem to understand. Just like Jack Grealish has that sort of slow the game down, dribble past players, keep the ball so much, which no one had in the team before he came. Calvin Phillips has that ability of Perlo's passes. So for me, that is something which we must be patient with in terms of Calvin Phillips' development. Cole Palmer, Cole Palmer on the ball, wonderful passing there, and weak shot there, weak shot from Calvin Phillips. Calvin, I know it was his weak foot, but Calvin Phillips. I know it was his weak foot, but Calvin Phillips really had to get his laces through that to beat Jose Raya. Wonderful start for City at a stadium against a team whom we last lost at the Etihad, I think just before the World Cup. I think 2-1, where we conceded a last minute goal on the counter attack. Arsenal fans were telling you Brentford can beat City. Why can't we? But at that time, City were just settling in. City in this ruthless mode is something else when compared to City in September and October. Ederson back to the team after a couple of matches. It almost seems that you didn't miss Ederson. I mean, that means Ortega has been so good. Credit to Ortega for everything is done. Good ball from Ederson. Aymeric Laporte. Good ball from Laporte. It's just that Sergio Gomez wasn't there. Interesting. Gomez is playing at left back. Rico Lewis is in the middle actually. Pep has given Rico Lewis the Gundogan role almost, the attacking midfield role, which is very interesting for me. Again, I don't think Sergio Gomez. We have moved on from the time of Fabian Delph and Zinchenko and people like Sergio Gomez playing the left back role who aren't defensively that good in 1v1 situations. Arsenal are doing that now, but we are not in that situation. I think Rico Lewis is good defensively in 1v1 situations, but it's offside. I think isn't it offside? It was offside by it was offside, seemed offside, looked offside. So I don't think it's a long-term position for Sergio Gomez. I know he's doing it in this game. Marginal call. I think marginal call. Probably Laporte's just playing him on. I don't know. Very marginal. See, that's a bit of a problem with Aymeric Laporte. Ball over the top. Literally, I think you can't have Aymeric Laporte in those situations. I know people are a bit emotional about City and Pep Guardiola letting Laporte leave, but there are certain things we must understand. 1v1 defending, ball over the top in the way we play and stuff like that, which Laporte is not the good at. So nothing again, they're rock solid as usual. Well collected by Edison. We can't afford to lose this game in terms of having that momentum. It's never good to go into a cup final, the FA Cup or Champions League on the back of a loss. We have to maintain our unbeaten record in the Premier League. It could be 17 matches unbeaten if we do not lose this game. When was the last time we lost? We defeated Arsenal, and I think the last time we lost was Spurs away, which we always do every season. Natanake, Sergio Gomez, it's offside. The line's been fantastic. Line's been absolutely superb. Natanake to Edison. Again, a bit of dilemma for Pep Guardiola in terms of almost pressed on the ball, but then it's Rico Lewis, you don't press him. Is almost unpressable Rico Lewis over there. So well won by Sergio Gomez, but it's a head injury for the Brentford player. Well won by Sergio Gomez, but like I was talking, it's a dilemma for Pep Guardiola against United. Who do you play? Walker has to play. His performances have been excellent. He's been one of the best right backs of the last month in the world. You play John Stones. No one else is there in the team almost who can do that role of John Stones. You play Ruben Diaz for sure. He's your leader. And you play Nathan Ake. But then what has Emmanuel Akanji done not to play in that lineup? Dilemma, Akanji or Ake? That's the dilemma for me at left back. One of the dilemmas. And then in the FA Cup final on the right hand side, do you play Mahrez or do you play Bernardo Silva? In all the big games, is preferred Grealish and Bernardo Silva. But then it's the FA Cup. Mahrez scored a hat trick in his last in the semi final against Sheffield United. A hat trick has never been scored since the 1950s. I think in the competition, it's been superb. Do you play Ortega or Edison in that FA Cup final? Dilemmas there. I know it's just an FA Cup final, but it's not just an FA Cup final in a way. It's a chance to go into folklore. It's a chance to achieve immortality. English football, in world football, it's these players will know it's a chance to record yourself in the footballing history books, probably forever. So a lot of things are at stake, a lot of decisions for Pep Guardiola to make. Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva would be the two players who would be so well rested. And then do you play Phil Foden against Manchester United on the right wing or on the left wing, for example? Because Manchester Derby, Foden's been fantastic in Manchester Derbies. Is a lad from Manchester, is one of our own, born in Stockport. So all of those things will have an effect on the game. He would just want that little bit more, that rivalry and all the things. So these things might seem simple, but these are the things that could have an effect on the outcome of the game. Well done by Julian Alvarez, Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips on the ball. I'll keenly observe Calvin Phillips on the ball, what he does. Look at that. What a ball by Calvin Phillips over there. What a ball. See, those that is why you bring in Calvin Phillips. That ball to allow the winger go from out to in. Just superb by Calvin Phillips. Amaric Laporte, Riyad Mahrez. What a ball there. Cole Palmer in space. Cole Palmer in space. I think he just took a little bit more time on the ball, but the good thing here is Cole Palmer is finding space, which is actually difficult rather than in terms of making the pass. If you find space, just like Haaland had opportunities in the community shield, he just put them away. He didn't put them away. In the same way, if you find space as a midfielder in a crowded midfield, I think everything else can just come to you. It doesn't, even if you misplace passes, it's just a matter of time. Finding space is the most difficult thing. Natanake, almost a very good ball. That's a good ball there. That's a very good ball there. 1v1, 1v1. It's good defending 1v1. Everyone seems to have improved a notch in 1v1 defending. Be it Prico Lewis, be it even Sergio Gomez is defending well 1v1, especially after the system has changed. Be it Grealish, how well has Grealish defended his 1v1 duels when tracking back? Remember Mo Salah going on 1v1, 2-0 down against Liverpool, probably where it would have been a bit more difficult to come back. Grealish doing the same thing against Hong Ming Son, against Spurs earlier on in the season. Phil Foden defending very well 1v1 now, so everyone seems to have just improved 1v1 in a way. City. City has struggled. I won't say struggle, we are still defensively. Smack just probably struggle to string a few passes together, probably struggle to make it work. System, but let us just sit back and enjoy this game. We never know when it could be the next time we could enjoy a game so in a relaxed fashion because every season right from the off go we're chasing things. Good defending there from Aymeric Laporte. Again, Brentford are just throwing those balls over the top. In normal cases, City would be enjoying those balls. So, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. Well read by Sergio Gomez. Very well read by Sergio Gomez. Look at that ball over the top and good recovery by Aymeric Laporte again. They can't surely give that as a handball on Aymeric Laporte. It's a throw in for Brentford and good ball in, and it's a goal kick for City. I won't say ball over the top is exactly the way to beat City because a lot of teams have tried, and in fact, Pep will be delighted with the ball over the top because it means that you can regain position and start your attacks better. Means that the opposition will have less time on the ball, but remember, this is not a first choice defense, so probably I think there could be a bit of vulnerability over there. Play the ball forward, guys. Play the ball forward. We have made chances. I think Brentford have had chances, but we have created our chances as well. Cole Palmer, those two chances. One, he just messed up the pass a bit, and then the other, his shot was tame. So it's not like we are not creating chances. Palmer has been very good. Sergio Gomez over there. Ivan Laporte. Sorry, Cole Palmer, Rico Lewis, Riyad Mahrez. They're just doubling up on Riyad Mahrez. Cole Palmer is actually getting a lot of space. We just need to try and find him. Phil Foden's having a lot of space. Cole Palmer's having a lot of space. It's just that Calvin Phillips needs to dictate play from deep much more. His press resistance has been very good. Calvin Phillips in this game has been very press resistant, but Sergio Gomez, Nathan Ake, Aymeric Laporte, we're keeping the ball better. We're keeping the ball much, much better. Edison, Aymeric Laporte, good pass. Sergio Gomez, let us keep the ball. Ball to Aymeric Laporte and keep the ball without losing it for a while. Rico Lewis, wonderful turn there by Phil Foden. He's given it to Cole Palmer, played it to Riyad Mahrez, and Mahrez does well to keep the ball. He has to pass it to Riyad Mahrez. They're doubling up on him. This wonderful ball by Riyad Mahrez there. Phil Foden, Phil Foden back to Nathan Ake. City are settling into the attacking groove now. Calvin Phillips. I hope Calvin, you had to switch it to Riyad Mahrez, man. Just don't look for the easy pass. Bad ball by Riyad Mahrez. Riyad had to be better there. Very ball wasn't good from Riyad Mahrez. He passed it to a Brentford player there. An easy pass from Mahrez by standards. That's a foul and it's a free kick for City. This is a good phase of attacking play for City. The last 2-3 minutes, it's just been superb. I don't think it's a red. Slow down replays just make it look worse. It's a foot stamp. I think it's a yellow. Ref, just continue it. Do not ruin the game. 10 against 11. No. Just continue with it. Riyad Mahrez has to be a left footer to take it in. Would be very difficult for right footer unless you're Kevin De Bruyne, for example. Mahrez will kick it. Ah, it's a foul in Brentford's favour. Laporte, I think, going into the Brentford player. I don't think honestly there was anything in it, but yeah, I actually don't think there's anything in it. The Brentford player passed into Aymeric Laporte and it's not the other way around, but I think the attacking impetus has been good. Brentford are, this is what makes them difficult. They press well and then they sort of play these long balls when the opportunity arises. So it's difficult to, camp in their half and stuff, because their goalkeeper is very good in making those long passes, and the press very well as well. So they sort of mix up the game. They have this unique mix of physicality in the midfield as well as the ability to play those cute passes. For example, Mbumo and Tony. Tony is not in the match. Mbumo and Visa. They can actually. Aaron Hickey. He sometimes joins in the attack. So have this ability to play those cute passes as well. It's the mix that has made it very difficult for them to play. Season. What a ball that is. Ricolos has just been fantastic in tight spaces. Kyle Walker. Nathan Ake. Sergio Gomez, Phil Foden. Foden's just been holding the met width superbly. Nathan Ake. Ah, just hit the Brentford player. Unlucky. The ball was there. The ball between the lines was there. Well intercepted there by Calvin Phillips. Well done. He's just having a he's having a good game here, Calvin Phillips. I thought last game, I thought against Chelsea was good, and here is good is playing well as well. So this is a difficult fixture. Very difficult fixture. Brentford, one of the difficult fixtures. Fulham was a difficult fixture. Fulham away, Brentford away. Very good ball, very good ball. He should have taken it instead of playing that blind back pass. Okay. But Cole Palmer's getting into those positions, and wonderful skill there by Cole Palmer. Okay, the Brentford players got there, but good skill by Cole Palmer. Palmer's getting into them positions, even though he's wasteful and stuff, whatever you can say. Getting into them positions, and that's what is actually impressing me. David Raya with the goal kick. David Raya was a goalkeeper which United were also looking at. So then I've heard the interest has cooled down now, but they were a goalkeeper that United has been looking at. Again, not a good ball from Addison. Good defending, very good defending. And just look at the skill there by Sergio Gomez. Great skill. Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips, Nathan Ake, Cole Palmer, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden, Nathan Ake, Amaric Laporte. That ball had to go to Nathan Ake there. He just misplaced the pass. Nathan Ake of the past season would have passed it back to Edison, but look at it. Right now, he's having the confidence to turn and then play the ball forward. That one clip for me is evidence of how well Nathan Ake has progressed throughout the season. The press from City has been good. We're forcing Brentford back, forcing them to play long balls. And the long ball, and they're targeting the area of Sergio Gomez on the left back. And Gomez has dealt with it well, actually. It's 29 minutes gone, but I'm happy with the way City have played, especially looking at our midfield, looking at our front line, especially the midfield. I would say midfield and the defense. It's not a first team defense, and yet we come to Brentford away, who are almost at full strength, and we have the courage to go toe to toe with them. Cole Palmer, Rico Lewis, excellent in terms of occupying those attacking spaces. Again, the press has been good, forcing Jose Raya to play that long ball and winning the second balls as well. Wonderful body shape from Natanake. Look at it. He allowed the ball to come and then it turned his back, and so that now the attacker doesn't have the chance to access the ball. That is a speciality of Pep Guardiola in the way how he trains defenders. I've heard Javi Martinez, speak about it when Pep went to Bayern and Pep looked at Javi Martinez. He was like, Pep taught him defense for 6 months, 1 year. He had extra sessions for Javi Martinez. That's what was written in his biography as well, Pep's biography. One of the things Pep emphasized to Javi Martinez was his body position, how he had to mold his body position when he was receiving the ball, so that the attacker would not have access to get the ball. He either fouls you or he doesn't get the ball. So, speciality of Pep Guardiola in terms of seeing how he changes your perspective of the game. Kyle Walker, Riyad Mahrez, Rico Lewis, back to Kyle Walker, back to Riyad Mahrez, Calvin Phillips, Riyad Mahrez, Calvin Phillips. Calvin has to hit that long ball to Phil Foden. Calvin just switched the diagonal to Phil Foden. Riyad Mahrez, Nathan Ake, Calvin Phillips. Very good back heel there. It is just that Rico Lewis wasn't on the same page as Palmer, I think, but I really loved how Rico Lewis and Cole Palmer are exchanging their positions. Lewis going forward. Wonderful defending there by Nathan Ake and Calvin Phillips. Switch. The switch is on. Julian Alvarez just couldn't get that touch there. The touch just eluded him. Just the touch eluding him there. Nathan Ake has been. It just seemed Ake didn't leave. He had been continuously playing, no rust and nothing. He has slotted right back into the City team and is a leader of the defense today as well. Edison, good long ball. Again, it's a bit difficult to win those long balls. With Brentford being so physical in the middle of the park, you probably needed a Rodri over there or even a Ruben Diaz to win those balls, to win those long balls by Brentford. So, wonderful skill there by Cole Palmer, Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips. Sergio Gomez, Felix has been much, much better than he was in the past games. Then I would like to see how he reacts when Brentford really attack and they're on the front foot. There'll be a phase in the game when Brentford really try to go at us. It probably would be if we get a goal or something like that. Wow, that's almost a superb ball by Riyad Mahrez. Just not falling for Cole Palmer over there. Palmer has been the best player on the pitch, I would say. Brentford on the attack. This is where Calvin Phillips will be tested now. Good defending by Aymeric Laporte. Very good defending. It's a Brentford throw in, and it's a long, long throw in. Good save by Edison, and it's a Brentford corner. Very good save by Edison, I would say. Brentford corner. This game would have been much more tense and dangling of the nerves if we needed at least a draw or even a win in order to get the title. Got to away from home. Last season 2-0, we came back from Aston Villa, but that was at home. Probably would have been a bit more complicated if that game was away from home last season. But then you never know. Away from home, you're 2-0 down, for example. There won't be that much of a nervousness of the crowd, whereas at home, 2-0 down, the crowd knows totally slipping away from you. And the nervousness in the stadium would just be too much. So it would go either way. It could go either way. Good recovery from Kyle Walker. I think he was offside. Again, we had that 5-6 minute spell from 17 to 23, 24, 25 minutes, and after that, it's nothing. So, almost been the entire game has been both the teams cancelling each other out. By the way, how is the relegation fight going? If anyone knows, just put it in the comments, in the live chat, I would say. Edison there. Natanake. Edison again. I think he's just hit it out. No, that's a good touch by Riyad Mahrez. Very good touch. But the Brentford player takes it on. We have to defend well, guys. This will be a test of our defense. It's almost out of position. Cole Palmer's just playing as a second striker. We are pressing in a 4-4-2 shape. So, I mean, just looking at the pressing shape, where does Cole Palmer see his position in Pep Guardiola's vision? It's very interesting. 38 minutes have just flown by. That's good defending again. Very good defending. That's a throw in for Brentford, but this is something that we've seen the improvement in defending in terms of putting your bodies on the line. When shots come in, especially after the system change, this has been so evident. Look at that, putting bodies on the line. Okay, shots from outside the box, long range, they go in. You can't do anything. The NCSO shot, for example, you just can't do anything with them. But in general, nothing like a very good defending there. Excellent defending. Running with your back towards the goal. Very good defending back here over there. It's a goal kick for City. It's just long balls, and long balls. The ball is just dangling in the air a lot. I think Pep will change something at halftime. It's just been long balls from Brentford. They have not even tried to put the ball on the ground and play. Just play long balls. That's what it has been from Brentford. Can't blame them. I think once we get our first goal, that is when Brentford will open up a little bit more. Look at David Raya. Just kicked it out. Just long balls and nothing else. Nathanake. Calvin Phillips. Rico Lewis. Sergio Gomez. Cole Palmer. Kyle Walker. Kyle Riyad is there. Riyad is there. Yes. Swan Riyad Maris. Maris has been doubled up. Hit the shot. Hit the shot. Ah, that's a range where you see Cole Palmer. Sorry, Sergio Gomez actually scored from. Sergio Gomez long range shots are excellent. He is almost a specialty free kick taker. You expect better from Sergio Gomez from that sort of a range. At least you expect him to test the goalkeeper. You know, the ball was spinning, but then he's a free kick specialist. He's a long range specialist, Sergio Gomez. He has to do better from that sort of a situation. Brentford. The pressing has been very good. Impressed with it. Rico, Rico, Rico. There was almost a chance to intercept that and send Julian Alvarez almost through on goal. It's 1 minute of added time. Phil Foden just couldn't reach there in time. So Sergio Gomez, wonderful skill over there. Wonderful skill over there. Ha! Wonderful skill by Sergio Gomez over there. Calvin Phillips. That was so aggressive down our left hand side. Ah! Great ball there. Great ball. That's a wonderful ball over there. Great ball in fact from Riyad Mahrez, I think. Wasn't an easy header for Julian Alvarez. Would be very easy for Erling Haaland, but the way Julian Alvarez tried was just superb. Sandwich between both the Brentford defenders, it was like very very good. Julian Alvarez with that chance. Hope he's not done any serious damage, and it's nil-nil at half time. I'll just be back in a minute or so, and then we'll discuss things about the transfer news of City and bit of bits from the game and stuff, and we'll look at the relegation as well. I think Cole Palmer had the best chance. Cole Palmer had the best chance, and Cole Palmer had to score. And that off his stronger foot. Raya makes a good save, but I think Cole Palmer had to score. Let us actually look at the relegation fight and see what's going on over there. Southampton Liverpool 2-2. Brighton are losing to Aston Villa. Oh, Chelsea Newcastle 1-1. That's interesting. Who scored over there? Is it Raheem Sterling? It's Kieran Trippier own goal, so expected. Forest winning. Interesting. Everton Bournemouth 0-0. Leeds concede to Spurs. Leicester are winning. United Fulham is 1-1. Arsenal winning 3-0 against Wolves. Glad that we didn't have to rely on anybody. The relegation fight is actually interesting. Let me look at it. Wow, Leicester are winning and Everton are drawing, which means Everton could go down here. Everton could go down. Wow. Everton have to win or Leicester have to draw. If Everton draw and Leicester win, I think Everton are going down. This is very interesting. This is actually superb. What a finale that would be in the relegation fight. I think now it's out of Leeds' hands because I think if sort of Leeds have to escape relegation, I think for them Everton has to lose. There's no way they can match the goal difference of +4 in favor of Everton over Leeds. So I think Leeds have to win and hope Everton lose and Leicester lose as well. So Leeds win, but Everton and Leicester lose, then Leeds will be safe. That just seems to be too much to ask actually. And with Everton, I think they have to win at Brentford or hope Leicester lose or a Leicester draw. Everton are just hoping for Leicester to they win or Leicester draw or lose. So at halftime, it's Everton, Leeds, and Southampton who are going through. Wow, what a shockwave that would send to the footballing world if Everton goes down, right? Literally, this season you have Everton, Southampton, and even Leeds who have established themselves as a permanent fixture in the Premier League for the last 3 4 years going down. But Everton, they've never been relegated in their history. Everton going down, Southampton going down, who have sort of been in the Premier League. What in this decade? I think they have been there every. I don't know when was the last time they were relegated. So sort of two established Premier League clubs going down. That just shows you no one's safe in this division. No one's absolutely safe in this division. So that's something that is actually very interesting. Bayaji says Palmer does most of the things right, but doesn't know when to shoot or when to pass. It's just a lack of confidence, I think, Bayaji, because last season we have seen from him, I think if you remember last season FA Cup, I think was it Swindon Town and things like that. He was very good last season in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. Last season and the season before as well. So Cole Palmer, his renowned for us. Pep Guardiola always talks about the ability of Cole Palmer to strike the ball from the edge of the box and stuff like that. His attacking ability Cole Palmer is something Pep Guardiola loved. I just think even this season, pre-season at the start of this season, Palmer, I don't know why, but he just had a lack of confidence. He was afraid to even run at people. At least now he's getting into those positions. He's running at people. I think Cole Palmer's dribbling is just superb. He's just he doesn't give the ball away. Gets into those positions. His shooting is and passing. It's just a bit of low confidence for Palmer, I think, because we have seen Palmer pass well, shoot well, and stuff. I think it's just a lack of confidence. And I do agree, Palmer should have had a goal here. Palmer should have made better decisions in passing against Brighton, for example. TT says Palmer reminds me of Kevin De Bruyne. That's a big comparison to make. TT, Cole Palmer, Kevin De Bruyne. For me, I think Cole Palmer is the higher of Riyad Mahrez, if you ask me. I don't say that in terms of the playing style. The playing style is just different. I mean, Riyad Mahrez is too much of a left footer, though it's not a bad thing. Robin, one of the greats of the game, was a left footer. There are so many. I mean, predominantly left footer, but I think Cole Palmer is much more of he can use both feet much more. Is not predominantly dependent on his left foot. His style of dribbling is different. Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer, when he dribbles, he almost protects the ball like Grealish rather than a Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez is more, you know, Mahrez is more aggressive in his dribbling in terms of, he can lose the ball, and that's not a bad thing. But Cole Palmer, for me, he takes care of the ball better than Riyad Mahrez. So I think in certain ways, Palmer is more similar to Mahrez. And at City, actually, we think of Cole Palmer as the heir of Riyad Mahrez. I don't know how much you agree with me on that. He's the heir of Riyad Mahrez. Kevin De Bruyne is actually interesting. There's no player in the youth academy who is right now I could compare to Kevin De Bruyne in terms of that flair, that boldness of playing that pass, that vision. This not you don't get those are generational talents. You just don't get those kind of players every day around the world as well. If I would ask you guys to tell me who's similar to Kevin De Bruyne, there's no one. I could probably argue about Florian Wirtz, but not yet convinced he could do it in the Premier League. But apart from Florian Wirtz, I don't see anyone even getting close to Kevin De Bruyne in terms of his style, and because Kevin De Bruyne is just not your silky kind of a player, one touch passes or something like that. Kevin De Bruyne has the power of a box to box midfielder. He can burst through opponents, and he can. I mean, in certain ways, Kevin De Bruyne has the power of a Yaya Toure. When Yaya Toure was, bursting through midfields and he was going on and scoring those goals, but he also has the finesse, the creativity of a Luka Modric, the creativity of a Tony Cruz in terms of playing those passes. He has the silkiness of a David Silva in tight spaces. So Kevin De Bruyne has almost three, four players combined into one, and it's very rare to see such a package come together. Because you see, every midfield player there's something that is not in him. Mr. Ozil, for example, not too many goals. He was just playing those exceptional balls. David Silva again, not too many goals, stitching it together. So, but Kevin De Bruyne for me has it all. So that's why is the best midfield player in the world right now, and he's one of the best the Premier League has ever seen. I would say he's the best Premier League has ever seen in terms of attacking midfield players. James McAtee will be someone next season. I know we've been discussing about him a lot in this channel, but James McAtee would be the one who would have a long and stellar career. Again, is one of us in terms that he's a homegrown player from the academy, and they call him the Salford Silva. But where's the space in the midfield? That's what is. I don't know how Pep solves this tangle. So many people in the midfield, and I just don't know. And how do you play Phil Foden next season? How do you give him good game time? A lot of issues for us. I know good issues for us, but a lot of issues for us this season. At the end of the season, coming into the next season, sadly, it will be a sad thing that we will have to let at least some of these talents go. You can't have Oscar Bob, James McAtee, Cole Palmer, everyone playing in the team, right? It's just not feasible. Unless it is actually, if you want Ikai Gundogan, if you know Ikai Gundogan will probably go after 2 years, which means we'll be slowly preparing for life after Ikai Gundogan from the next season onwards. That's how City plan, at least an year and a half before the player goes. We have planned the same for Fernandino. Not so much for Sergio Aguero, but for Fernandinho, and we'll be doing the same thing for Gundogan, Walker, even Mahrez from next season. So probably, I mean, that's where for me it comes down to what do we do in the transfer window? Do we actually go on and buy players in the transfer window? Because then what happens to these people? Because if you go out and buy players in the transfer window, then I think the chance of the youth is gone. Because suddenly you're looking at vacancies for Mahrez, Walker, Gundogan, probably when Kevin De Bruyne, what Kevin is 31, 32, two more, 3 more years of Kevin De Bruyne at the highest level. I know Modric is 37, but the league which Modric plays is very different to the presence of the Premier League. So probably you have 3, 4 players here who who could be just transitioning into the dusk of their career, of stellar careers, and you could have Gundogan, Mahrez, Walker, probably a Kevin De Bruyne are there, not now, but 2, 3 years down the line. So you have 4 players who could come from the academy and slot in directly there. So just imagine if if Gundogan is replaced by McAtee, Mahrez is replaced by Cole Palmer slowly, and Walker and Walker would be interesting. I think we might have to buy someone for Walker. So, so just imagine McAtee, Rico Lewis, Cole Palmer coming in for these guys. Suddenly you have 4 people, 5 people from the academy in the first team: Lewis, Ford, and McAtee, Palmer. That would just give the entire academy so much of a lift, so much of a trust. I think that is the next step in terms of where City want to go. First step was the Premier League titles. Second step was, dominate the Premier League. The third step is the Champions League title and dominate the European scene. But in the middle of that transition, I think from the Premier League to Champions League, I think City and the club is sustainable now as well in terms of the revenues and all, which we get. And I think the middle of all of this transition, in the middle of our domination, I think another objective of the club would be to make sure that there's a constant supply line of players from the academy to the first team, so that now we do not have to rely on the transfer window and all of these exorbitant prices. That would mean that would just place our entire City Football Group, the system, way above. It could not mean just from our academy, it could mean scouting, the scouting of Maximo Parone, for example, the scouting of Julian Alvarez. All of these things have just been superb. Vinay says no pace makes players to go back, which is an advantage for the opponent. That is true, Vinay. That is true. But then I think there's this. But then I think with the technical ability of these players, I think you back. For example, the idea of not having pace. For example, the idea of having Jack Grealish, the idea of having Riyad Mahrez on both the wings, or Grealish Bernardo on the wings is, yes, the opponent gets a chance to go back, but ideally you want to isolate Grealish 1v1 with your opponent and Mahrez 1v1 with the opponent. So even if the opponent gets back, you isolate Grealish and Mahrez 1v1 with their opponents, and I think if you isolate them 4 times, I think that's it. The game's done, right? At least twice, at least once or twice, you expect Grealish and Mahrez to win those battles. So make the pitch wide, isolate them, which means you control the game as well as you isolate the opponents. There'll be space for your De Bruyne's, your Gundogans, your Cole Palmers in the future to run into that attacking spaces. So I think that is what Pep Guardiola wants to do. Defeat the opponent with control rather than make the game end to end. And especially, I think when you can control the game in that way, you have Grealish, Mahrez spinning both of the opponents' full backs, and then you have Erling Haaland occupying the defense. At least one or two centre backs will be there, which means the following the runs of De Bruyne, Gundogan from the midfield will be so much more difficult. It will be so much more difficult defending those runs. And now with John Stones also coming into the middle, that from the centre back position, I just think it just makes it so much more difficult for the opponent to get out even if they get the ball, because suddenly even if you get the ball, where do you go? City are almost maintaining the structure due to this control. It's preventing quick transitions due to being slow. Again, I get back to that game against Newcastle where we drew 3-3 at St James's Park earlier on in the season. That was due to a lack of control. That was due to Foden, and I think we had Alvarez or someone really playing there. It was an end-to-end match and stuff. Good defending there from City. I think the idea is not to allow that to happen. So I think we are playing in a different way this season, and not having wings is something I think which we can see for the next 3-4 years at least. When I says why no Borges, Embude can do both hold up and make runs. I probably think I actually think when Pep Guardiola is gone with the thinking. I mean, if you see how Pep Guardiola brings players into the team, Cole Palmer, for example, has been in and around the team for what 2-3 years, and then he's played in Carabao Cups, FA Cups, and that is when he's getting a start in the first team, right? That's how he's done it with Phil Foden. Foden was the star of the academy, but he was in and around Carabao Cup, FA Cup, 1-2 seasons, and then he's had to play left back as well, and then Pep brings him into the team. I think that is what Pep will do with Carlos Borges. I think you rarely see Pep Guardiola bring someone straight into the first team. Calvin Phillips, well done by Calvin Phillips. So I think Carlos Borges and Embuda haven't. They're just waiting with the first team. So probably next season, you expect them to start in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, be around the first team a lot more, and then slowly start in those cup competitions and then make their way into the Premier League. Next season, there's going to be a lot of youth winner. There's going to be McAtee returning back from loan. Cole Palmer will not go away anywhere. Borges, Embuda, Oscar Bob is just ready to start. He's just been superb in the under 23s for 3-4 seasons now. It's been superb in our academy. So, on the top of my head, I have 5 players already listed. So, Pep Guardiola might just play our youth players in the Carabao Cup next season, and we must accept it. Probably not winning a Carabao Cup next season. JSK says Laporte out. Vinay says I'm patient on Palmer because of Pep. Needs a loan. I actually think this season, I mean in the preseason at the start of this season, it seems that McAtee and Pep had talks in terms of where honest talks, and McAtee asked Pep, "Where do you see me?" And Pep told, "Honestly, there is." Cole Palmer is ahead of you in his development in terms of where I want him to be. And there is De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva. There is potentially 4-5 midfielders in the team, and Palmer's ahead of you. So I don't see you starting. It's better to go on loan. So with Cole Palmer, I think Pep sees Cole Palmer much closer to the first team. So I don't think Palmer will be sent on loan. Because the way you played City, the system, the patterns, everything is so different, right? And when you go on loan to any other club, suddenly you acclimatize to their system and stuff like that. So I think that would just be a break on your development into integrating into the first team. Very good ball, has to score, has to score, has to score. Good shape, good try for Cole Palmer. Very good try from Cole Palmer there, but the football there was just lovely from City. Lovely football there from City. So I don't think Cole Palmer will be sent out on loan, but James McAtee has had an excellent loan spell. What this season has shown us is, especially what James McAtee has shown us is, players can be sent on loan and still it could accelerate the development. So I think from next season you could see a few more players sent out on loan so that it could accelerate the development. Again, for me, it could go both ways. Liam Delap, unlucky with injuries last season when we had a few injuries in the attacking position. Delap was injured as well, and His loan spell also hasn't worked out as much right now, so could go both ways, honestly. You send someone out on loan. JSK's Rico Lewis made into the first team by just playing 6 months. I know that, Vinay, I know, but again, Rico Lewis for me is out of the norm. Rico Lewis is an exceptional situation for me because you literally had Joao Cancelo out, right? He was causing disturbance in the first team. Kyle Walker, he was not in the best of form. Nathan Ake hamstring injury. You literally had no one to play on the right flank unless you could play John Stones over there. You literally had no one to play on the right flank. So then Pep went into Rico Lewis. So I think Rico Lewis is an exception where he had a lot of injuries. So and he had to be sidetracked into the first team. And Rico Lewis as well was around in and around the first team picture last season as well. Last season he was training with the first team after the mid-season. Then he came to the preseason and stuff like that. So Rico Lewis was. It's just that we didn't know Rico Lewis because Cancelo was there, Walker was there. Last season it was. I mean, if Cancelo was fit, if Cancelo didn't throw those tantrums, if Cancelo didn't go, I don't think we see Rico Lewis as much as we did this season. So it's an exceptional situation for Rico Lewis. Again, for me, Liam Delap had that. Delap didn't take it. I mean, take it in the sense he was injured as well. Rico Lewis just took it with both hands. So kudos to Rico Lewis again. Good defending there. Our defending has just been fantastic in the box. JSK is because of this reason Cancelo left. But one thing, JSK, because of Cancelo leaving, I think our defense has improved so much. I don't think we are winning that Champions League games against Bayern and Real Madrid with Joao Cancelo in the team. I don't think we win this title with Joao Cancelo in the team. I think Saka, for example, would have just look at that defending there, fantastic defending. It's a foul on Edison. It's a foul on Edison. So I think with Joe Cancelo in the team, we are not winning anything. With Zinchenko in the team, we wouldn't have won the. We wouldn't have gone so far in the Champions League. I don't think that is a handball because both were actually in the challenge, maybe in the Champions League, but not in the Premier League. That's not a handball. Come on, that's not a handball. That's not a handball for sure. This is the strength of this team, the defense. I don't know what the referee is doing there, but you can't give that as a penalty. You can't give that as a penalty. Rico Lewis was falling off. That is not a penalty. Come on. That is never a penalty. I mean, the way this season has gone, I don't think even the most loyal and the most experienced City fan who's been following the club for so many years, no one would have thought. I mean, even someone who's been following Pep for so many years, no one would have thought this thing to happen that Pep Guardiola would leave out. Pep Guardiola would make his fullbacks just to defend. We don't get any attacking output from the fullbacks and create a system like that. No one would have thought. And Joao Cancelo was the best player in the of our team in the first season. I mean, in the first half of the season, right? Suddenly sent out in the say at the starting of at the February and so fairy tale of the season. And what do you guys think of our links to Joshua Kimmich? Because it's been coming from multiple outlets now from the last 2 3 days. I don't know what that is about, but Joshua Kimmich is just, I mean, who would you guys prefer? Would you guys prefer Joshua Kimmich or would you guys prefer Josko Guardiola? That's actually a big question. Very important question. Josko Guardiola or Joshua Kimmich? That's never a penalty. Come on, that's never a penalty. Rico Lewis is on his way down. Do you expect a player to keep his hands behind him and slide on his way down? It's just impossible. Let us keep this unbeaten streak together, guys. Come on. Amrik Laporte, Nathan Ake. Ah, well done by Julian Alvarez. Good shot by Julian Alvarez over there. I actually thought Cole Palmer would start on the wing for City today, on the left wing, and Foden would start in the center. Because when I saw the lineup, I thought this is Foden's audition to start in the center of midfield next season. I'm probably thinking Pep is seeing Foden as a successor to Ilkay Gundogan, probably not much to Kevin De Bruyne, but to Ilkay Gundogan due to the runs he makes, his ability to dictate play from the deep and stuff. But probably think Foden doesn't have the pausa which a Gundogan has. Calvin Phillips, Nathan Ake, Cole Palmer, Nathan Ake. Sergio Gomez. Sorry, it's Phil Foden. Phil Foden to Kyle Walker. Nathan Ake. City are just getting into the attacking groove here. Let us put on clinic. Kyle Walker. Phil Foden. Palmer just couldn't get it. And it's a free kick to Brentford over there. So this is what Palmer has to learn a bit more, right? He needs to be that 1 second ahead of the game. That is what Pep Guardiola wants Cole Palmer to. That is where he wants Cole Palmer to go. That is his next level. Just be 1 second ahead of the game more than anything else. Thomas Frank doing some tactical work on the sidelines. That is interesting. Jose Raya with a long goal kick, which has been doing all evening, and City get out through Aymeric Laporte. Sorry, Sergio Gomez and Phil Foden now on the ball. What a switch from Phil Foden! What a switch! Wonderful switch from Phil Foden. Great switch from Phil Foden. Rico Lewis offering support to Riyad Mahrez, but what a switch from Phil Foden to Mahrez. That was Natanake. Ah, what a block from the Brentford defense. Good, good. This is extremely good from City. Look at the one touch football there. This is just superb. Wow. Another youngster is coming on. I think it's Shia Charles. He plays center midfield for the academy. Uh, that's a disappointing long shot. This is Shia Charles on the sidelines. I think it's Shia Charles, but let's see who is it. It's number 6. Natanaka is coming off. Yes, it's Shia Charles coming on, but I always thought he plays midfield for the academy, so I don't know where he will fit in. I'm just looking to see where is Shia Charles playing. Oh, he's playing in defense in place of Natanake. He's playing alongside Aymeric Laporte. There is slotted in the defense. But I thought he played as central midfield player in the academy. Probably I was wrong. Pep obviously wants to protect Natanake for next week's final against United. That's a foul in City's favour. That's a foul in City's favour. Phil Foden fouled but had to release the ball faster for the counter attack to just go on. They're intercepting Edison's balls out very well. So Jose Raya with the kick. Brentford away is always so physical and it's so tough. I just don't want us to lose this game and end the unbeaten streak. That's gone high and wide. The good thing is we have restricted Brentford to shots from outside the box. That's it. Uh, it's overseer Charles, but well defended. The cover is very good. It was Kyle Walker actually, but was well defended in the end. The cover was very good from Aymeric Laporte. Brentford is making some changes now. Brentford are making some changes, and Thomas Frank with his tactical board. It would be nice to get a winner now and end up 8 points clear of Arsenal, which means it was a 16-point swing from February when they were 8 points clear of us at one time. Still, it's a 13-point swing, even if we don't get anything from this game. I think we touch 90, I think, if I'm not wrong, even if it's a draw. Or probably we are at 89 if it's a draw. That's a foul. It's a foul in City. The referee didn't give a foul over there. It's a City throw. Good defending by Kyle Walker. Mbumo is angry, but you're dealing with Kyle Walker over here, one of the best right backs in the world at the moment. Kyle Walker threw it straight to Edison. Probably Eddie was not expecting it, but well played out of the press. Very well played out of the Brentford press. Final ball wasn't right. Will peppering on Haaland? That's the question because Haaland is on the verge of breaking Thierry Henry's record of the highest goal contributions, goal plus assists in a Premier League season. Haaland is tied with Thierry Henry at 44, I think so. When will peppering on Erling Haaland? Brentford are actually playing well around us, but we have been defending well again. That's a goal kick in City's favour. It was almost unimaginable even a year ago, even at the start of this season, that uh, title defense, a title challenge from a Pep Guardiola team will be based upon, a solid defense. You're talking about a manager who played bloody Yaya Toure and Mascherano in Champions League semi-finals and finals. And he was in Barcelona. That's just an almighty tangle for the ball, and Cole Palmer comes out with it. Just really passed the ball. That's well done. He's passed the ball over there. Phil Ford, and it was Sergio Gomez on the ball right now. Kyle Walker. Shia Charles looks to be very comfortable on the ball. Shia Charles. Right footer as well. I think Pep Guardiola wanted to restore the balance. That's why he's playing Shia Charles there. I don't think he's a centre back anyway. Ah. Amaric Laporte there in a foot race, but has done well to get back, and Shia Charles does well to intercept, but the ball falls to Mboum over there. Very well done, very well defended by Kyle Walker, but it goes out for a corner. Good defending there from Kyle Walker. I think it's David Visa, not Mboum, but excellent defending from Kyle Walker, 1v1. It's a corner for Brentford. It's gone through everybody. Rico Lewis is onto it. He just want the unbeaten streak to continue here, that's all. That's a goal kick for City. Well done, Calvin Phillips. He's had a good game. Probably, I think, attacking wise, I would have loved to see more from him. Defensively, he's been solid. His positional awareness has looked much, much better in this game when compared to other games. He's slowly getting on. Probably, if not for injury, I think he would have been much better. I think we've had phases. 5 minutes in the first half, 10 minutes in the second half. Phases where we've camped around Brentford's half. Otherwise, it's just been here and there, midfields cancelling each other out, long balls from Brentford, us not putting a few passes together. So it's not been a vintage performance from us in any way. But it's been a hard fought, resilient performance, I would say, which tells you where it is going in terms of a football team. Resilient defense and all, we are hard to play through, which is important because even on days, suppose you have tough time breaking down the opponent, now we can count on one thing that we are hard to play through and stuff. Cole Palmer there nudged off the ball. Kyle Walker, always be Kyle Walker. The second half, especially after Shia Charles has come on. Great leadership from Kyle Walker is always looking to cover the youngster there. He's always looking to provide cover because David Visa, I think it's David Visa who's always, or whoever is playing strike for Brentford, they're always trying to get at Shia Charles, but Walker's always behind him, covering Laporte for a while. Walker's been behind him. So this is great work, wonderful work. City with the free kick. I think one move. Can't we get one chance in the last 15 minutes or so? Can't Julian Alvarez get one chance? I think Julian Alvarez hasn't had any chances today. Best chance of the match was Cole Palmer when David Raya saved. as a throw into City. What's happening to Everton, guys? Are they going down? What's happening in the relegation fight? Someone does know. Please let me know in the live chat. I think we'll have a look at the relegation fight probably 5 minutes. Edison, Rico Lewis, Shia Charles Weldon. Good pressing there, excellent pressing over there, but the Brentford player escapes the press. And that's a goal kick. Erling Haaland, John Stones, Bernardo Silva, everyone seeing from the bench. Oh, that is excellent from Julian Alvarez. Cole Palmer, I think it is who comes on now. Back to Rico Lewis. Phil Foden. Sergio Gomez. Rico Lewis. Sergio Gomez. I think this can be the moment, the next 5 minutes, if we can continue this sense of attacking patterns. Cole Palmer now is playing on the right hand side. Kyle Walker, Kellen Phillips, Kyle Walker, Kellen Phillips, Kyle Walker again, Sergio Gomez. Let's test the concentration levels of Brentford over here. Sergio Gomez, Foden's come on in the inside now. Calvin Phillips again is rotating the ball extremely well. Cole Palmer's playing on the inside as well. Ah, Riyad Mahrez on his outside, but that's a throw in for City. I think the next 5 minutes will be very important because we have put up an attacking camp in Brentford's half, so it's a substitution for Brentford. So I think it's Visa going off. He's made some good runs. Attacking play has been good. This is a big this is a big uh, blow to Arsenal's way of thinking because even if Arsenal would have won all their games, City with the B team would have coasted to the title because drawing 2 games and still we are up on Arsenal in terms of goal difference, right? So that's how strong City are. This is what Arsenal are up against. That's what their fans should realize. Not celebrating title wins in February. I've seen an Arsenal fan who bought a Premier League replica trophy and he had Arsenal's ribbons already there, red ribbons in February, January when they won 3-2 against Aston Villa and stuff. And Arsenal fans are actually telling that it doesn't happen anywhere across Europe in any of the leagues. It has only happened here because of City or else Arsenal will be champions. They're telling examples of Napoli and all of that stuff. Is telling examples of Dortmund. Oh, that's almost a very good ball of Dortmund and PSG dropping of Napoli, of Barcelona and all. But you look at the periods when there was dominance in Syria, Antonio Conte, Juventus, how many points Juventus would get? 95, 96, 92. You look at the periods of dominance when Pep was at Bayern, how many points Bayern would get in the mid 90s. You look at when there were instances when Madrid got 97 points in the league and still lost the league, I think in 2010 or something like that. So it doesn't mean that all of the leagues around the world uh, they're rubbish. That doesn't mean that Premier League also have to be rubbish. I think Arsenal fans must realize that that's calmly defended by Aymeric Laporte. Sometimes Aymeric Laporte is so calm. We're gonna miss that. Phil Foden there, Phil Foden. It's not a foul, but good drive by Foden. It's just that it's a shame that no one was assisting him. We'll just look at the relegation fight now for a bit. See what is happening there? Wow, Everton. It seems like Everton have scored. Let us see. United are winning. Leicester are winning 2-1. But unfortunately, Everton are winning 1-0. Decaure scores 57 minutes. The Leicester are dropping down. Again, with Leicester as well, a team that has won the title probably just 6, 7 years ago, and it's a goal. Brentford score. It's a goal. Brentford score. This is coming. This is gonna be the end of the unbeaten streak for City. Brentford score. Not gonna mean anything in terms of the league title and stuff, but Brentford score, and look at that. That ball into the box is not allowed. That is why Sergio Gomez can't play at left back. Look at that. Just can't allow that ball into the box. And if Ruben Diaz would have been there in place of Aymeric Laporte, he would have probably blocked it. But then in a way, it's Shia Charles, it's Sergio Gomez, it's Aymeric Laporte in defense. Probably not our frontline defenders today. So it's fine. It's anyway fine. Are we gonna get a winner? I mean, again, if City had to win the last two matches, we would have won it. We would have played a first team. So I just hope this just drives Pep the hunger. It just Pep can use this as a tool to build that hunger and desire back before the FA Cup final, I think. But anyway, most of our first team are rested, so that's fine. By the way, Brentford might just do the double over us this season, beating us 1-0 home and away. Wow. But then last season, I think it's Spurs who defeated us both home and away, and still we won the league. We had Mahrez, Rico Lewis, Cole Palmer. Rico Lewis just could not take it on the turn. Just imagine Lewis collects it and then scores. That would just be fantastic, right? That would just be super. Brentford making some more substitutions. Pep Guardiola not too worried with Rodolfo Borrell. He shouldn't be, because this is not gonna have any effect on the title and anything. Good way to cap up the season for Brentford, but we have won the title in front of our home fans, so nothing more we can ask for, especially where we were in February. I think there could be more relegation drama if Bournemouth score a goal, and then I think Leicester would be up. But Leicester had the chance to stay up. A 6 pointer against Everton, where James Madison gets a penalty and he doesn't score. I think that is when Leicester were relegated, not today. How did we not score there? How did we not score there again? Ooh, it had to be 1-1, guys. It had to be 1-1. How did we not score there again? How did we not score there? Excellent ball. Cole Palmer block. This had to be 1-1. How did we not score there? That pretty much sums up. That pretty much sums up our day there. Open goal. Almost an open goal. Should have scored. Brentford are going through on goal. This is a repeat of what happened at the Etihad. This time our defense is good. See, that's the difference of having a Nathan Ake and the Sergio Gomez there. If an Ake was there, there was no way the cross comes in for Brentford goal, first of all. Just cannot one, because once the cross comes in, I don't blame anybody. Anything could have happened. The ball could have just fallen to anybody. It could have been a City player, it could have been a Brentford player. Then you're relying on luck in something. One thing City have done well this season is not relied on luck defensively. Shia Charles has done well over there, and that's a throw in. Donistic should have been 1-1. Palmer there, wasteful in front of goal. Sergio Gomez there, one last surge from City, one last attack from City. That's well defended by Brentford. But anyway, nothing to play for both the teams. I wouldn't buy a lot into this loss because this is where you test your academy kids, right? And when you're putting your academy players in, you're accepting loss as a probable outcome, much more probable outcome than probably a win, because playing these academy players against experienced Premier League players in the opposition who have gone full strength. So I don't know why Walker was striking from distance over there. 2 more minutes, probably one more last chance. A good day out to enjoy for all the Brentford fans, because whenever a team has done a trouble against City, Pep always takes it personally. Look at Chelsea, that Champions League winning season, final season where we lost. After that season, Chelsea have not even managed to score a single goal against City. I think we have played them 4 times this season. They have not scored a single goal against us. Last season, I don't think they've scored a single goal against us. So Shia Charles does well over again, there again, and I think that should be that. This might be the end of our unbeaten streak, but the job of this unbeaten streak has been completed, has been done, and the job was to win the Premier League title, right? And we are capable of going on numerous unbeaten streaks like that, so I won't read much into it. Last 30 seconds, one last attack, and I think that should be that. 20 more seconds, just pump the ball in. Yeah, that should be that now. Brentford have cleared it, and the referee blows. Did he blow? And the referee blows. Brentford have won the game, and Pep Guardiola is having a long chat with Thomas Frank. Well done to Brentford. That's the only thing I would say. But we have got the outcome which we have desired from this game. I mean, not in terms of the end result, but we have managed to have a good look at some of our young prospects, and we have managed. And I think out of this game, Pep Guardiola. I mean, people might think we have lost, unbeaten streak is lost, but I think Pep Guardiola has managed to get more out of this game than holding on to that unbeaten streak. I think this game would have made Pep's mind up regarding Sergio Gomez, for example, because Sergio Gomez has been playing central midfield whenever he has started, and today left back. And the goal we conceded was because of Sergio Gomez letting that cross come in, lost his 1v1 duel. Nathan Ake would not have let that come in. I think it's the same thing that has happened when Zinchenko was playing there, probably a little bit less when Fabian Delph was there. So it was the same thing that was happening when Cancelo was playing there, maybe a bit less than Zinchenko. So with playing Sergio Gomez on the left, that vulnerability of that left hand side was so evident today. So I think that this performance would have actually made up Pep's mind on buying Josko Guardian, probably a left-sided centre back whenever Aymeric Laporte leaves. Aymeric Laporte was very good today, but there were one or two one-on-one duels. Probably could have done better, but Laporte's game was good today. But for me, we need another defender who is very good 1v1, left-sided defender who's very good in 1v1s, because Brentford was able to get it Aymeric Laporte in 1v1 defending. So for me, that was something interesting. And I think of the top six sides, I think City, I don't know what's the Liverpool score, maybe it's a draw, but City are the only team of the top six who have lost today. But then City are the only. only one team wins the title, but City are the team that have won the title today. I mean, that have won the Premier League title. So I think we have gained much more valuable insights in this game than the outcome of the game. So that's crucial to me. And Pep would have gained so many insights on Cole Palmer in this game. Cole Palmer has been excellent. Okay, his finishing has not been good. At the end, he should have scored a goal. In the first half, he should have scored a goal. Palmer should have probably been on a hat trick at least at the end, should have scored a brace. He didn't. But the encouraging thing for me is Cole Palmer has been getting into those positions, just like Haaland was getting into those positions at the start of the of the season in the Community Shield. So that's something which is very interesting for me. Cole Palmer looks, for me, at least from this game, Cole Palmer looks to have a much better. I mean, Cole Palmer looks to have a clear path into the first team from next season. I think he can play in that role of Riyad Mahrez. He could slowly transition into the team in place of Riyad Mahrez. Calvin Phillips had an okayish game. I wouldn't say he still reached those levels, but he's been good position. I mean, I think positioning wise, Calvin Phillips has to be better. He needs to intercept those balls a little bit better. He could have sprayed in a bit more passes diagonally today. Attacking wise, he could have been better. That was my review of Calvin Phillips. Had an okayish game, better game than most of the other games, which is come on as a substitute this season. He's had a better game than those games, but again, not at the level that City would have wanted. Shia Charles looked good today. There were one or two occasions, one or two situations where Shia Charles had defended very well. Again, I think I'm pretty sure Shia Charles is not a centre back, he's a central midfield player, but he looked very comfortable in the centre back position. East Visa away, I think, on one or two occasions, was very strong physically. So again, Shia Charles looks to be that Akanji kind of player for me. And Sergio Gomez, is not good enough to play left back for us. I do not again want to go into that phase where you're playing Zinchenko, Cancel or Delph there. That's where you're getting into with Sergio Gomez. So Sergio Gomez, you either loan him out or play him in the midfield. He's not a left back. He's not a left back, at least for the system where you value one-on-one duels very well. So I don't think Sergio Gomez is a good fit for this system. Rico Lewis for me, attacking midfield, very good in terms of rotating the ball. But I think his final pass is where I think it's Vinay who said last time that his final pass needs to improve, and that's so true. That was so evident in this game. The final pass of Rico Lewis would have been uh, should just improve, but then he's 18, 19. Just imagine where he will be in 2 more years, in 1 more year, just training with Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, and all. But he's doing the hardest part. He's playing in the crowded midfield. He's press resistant. His final decision making has to improve. But at 19, I think he will develop. He'll develop in this in that part. Cole Palmer, I thought, was probably a little bit slow, like Bayaji mentioned as well, in his passing. But the encouraging thing for me about Cole Palmer is his decision making, the way he's uh, not the decision making, his positioning, the way he's always managed to find those attacking spaces in the box. It's almost like what Sterling would do, Sterling would somehow arrive at the right time in the box and get into those positions. For me today, Cole Palmer was a replica of what Sterling would do, not with the pace, but with his sense of positioning in the box. Could not finish, just like Sterling, but Cole Palmer is 100x and 200x better finisher than Sterling. Bayaji's as senior players, Foden and Mahrez were shocking. No creativity at all, but just dribbling all around the box. That's actually true, Bayaji. But then it also, I think playing Rico Lewis and Cole Palmer in the midfield again, I think it just made everything so narrow again there because Rico Lewis, especially Rico Lewis, is not someone who makes those runs like an Ikai Gundogan into those attacking half spaces, right? So this actually meant that Brentford has much easier time pressing them, and Rico Lewis is not good at passing the ball and stuff like that. So it meant you could press Rico Lewis, whereas you could not press De Bruyne, for example, in those situations because De Bruyne can drop the shoulder, get into the box. De Bruyne can make that pass. switch that play. Rico Lewis doesn't have that attacking impetus. And Cole Palmer for me was a little bit slow in decision making. Calvin Phillips for me was again a little bit slow in passing, and he made the easy passes today. Calvin Phillips was, it almost seemed he was playing for a place in the team next season, security in the team next season, so he did not take any risks. I think the entire midfield was, it was so much, it was set up in such a way that it offered you security there. It didn't offer you attacking impetus. So this meant that Foden had to come inside to get the ball. Mahrez had to come inside to get the ball, because when Foden and Mahrez are creating the width, no one is running in the half spaces. I think I've seen just one or two switches to Riyad Mahrez. One switch from Riyad Mahrez to Calvin Phillips. That's all in the entire game. So they're not getting the ball. They're frustrated. They're coming in. Alvarez is coming in. This actually meant that Brentford could push up on you. Brentford could defend narrow. So I think Foden and Mahrez found it difficult. Don't blame them, but I blame the midfield actually. But the midfield is inexperienced. Calvin Phillips, Rico Lewis, and Cole Palmer. You could say it's a City B team midfield. The only thing is they competed with us. I mean, they competed with the Brentford midfield probably well for three-fourths of the game. That's the only congratulations for them. Vinay says max attackers today. No attack but back pass masterclass. Th- this was straight up there with the community shield, Vinay, and I think it's apt to start the season with a shit back pass masterclass in the community shield, and you end the season with a shit back pass masterclass. But then in the middle, in the middle, you go on a run and you win the title. I think probably at the start of the season, if you after the community shield, especially if you had told me that this is the way. I mean, you're gonna win the Premier League title, but you're gonna finish it with shit two games, especially a shit game. I think you would have taken it, but yeah, I know. But I think it's probably a second team. It was second string defense. It was second string midfield, and you could almost see that it was set up to fail for our front three in Ford and Mahrez and Alvarez. No through balls at all. Bhaiya just says would have played all academy rather than a mix and losing. I think he wanted to give uh, Natanake a day out because he starts for me in the FA Cup final. I think he wanted to keep Foden fresh. He has a decision to make. I think probably he starts Foden in the FA Cup final because it's the Manchester derby. Foden's from Manchester. So that's why I think he played Foden. Riyad Mahrez, I think he's played Riyad Mahrez because just in case Mahrez had to come in the FA Cup final. I think he's played players who I think he did not want them to be rusty in a way. I think that's why he's played those three, four of them. Laporte is played because this is probably going to be his last game for the for City. So you can see the four players which is actually played. Rest all were academy players or they were not regular first teamers. So in a way, kudos to Pep. Vinay says training ground stuff today. It was the same. Vinay, I think the last three matches were training ground stuff in a way. We played against Chelsea, it was training ground stuff, but Chelsea were so shit that they lost even against that. Against Brighton, it seemed as if the players were half drunk. They just woke up on the afternoon of the match and they came to play. And this match again, it just looked that a few players were playing for place in the team for next season, like Calvin Phillips, Cole Palmer, and also. But one thing is for sure. What we learned from this game, Sergio Gomez just cannot. Sergio Gomez is not good enough to play as a left back. Honestly, this game we should have come out with a draw 0-0. Sergio Gomez just cannot play as a left back. The goal just came from his side. Vinay says both Borges and Bude are better than Palmer. Again, I think when it depends on what Pep Guardiola wants from your wingers in the system. I just think that Palmer suits this system very well in terms of the control he can uh, he can give us. I would actually love to see Palmer play when you have someone like a Gundogan and a Kevin De Bruyne are playing in the midfield so that they can make those runs through the half spaces. and you isolate Cole Palmer in the wing 1v1 or 2v1, I think that is when Palmer is at his best. Today, Palmer is not a midfielder. Today, Palmer was just surrounded by so many people. The strength of Palmer is dribbling. The strength of Palmer is taking people 1v1. I think you didn't play to the strengths of Cole Palmer. For me, Cole Palmer today suffered the same fate in a way what Jack Grealish was suffering when he was coming into City at the start in his first season. I know Borges and Mbude are almost like Sunny and Sterling in terms of pace and all, not in terms of their finishing is much better. But he's Pep. How does Pep fit such profile of wingers into the team? I don't know where the system is gonna go with Pep. How do you fit a Borges into the team? Because this system is suited to wingers with control, actually, especially with Haaland, that raw pace and all. Can you afford to have two people with raw pace and two people who are vulnerable, who give the ball away cheaply in Borges and Haaland? Can the system handle it? Lot of questions to be asked. Lot of questions to be asked. That's why I think the preseason for the next season and the next season the preseason will be interesting before the start of next season. The kind of players we go for in the transfer window will be interesting. Josko Guardiola for me will signal that Pep Guardiola thinks this is the long-term system to go for. Bayer Jesus Palmer missed like 3 to 4 goals in that one sequence in final minutes. Exactly, Bayer. I was shocked that the ball didn't go in. Especially the second one. It was virtually an open goal for Cole Palmer. But again, again I get back to that Community Shield. Erling Haaland missed an open goal. It hit the bar. Please, that Erling Haaland. I'm not comparing Haaland to Palmer here, but please, that Haaland came into the position of striking in that Community Shield match. So I think if I have to look at the positive side, I think Palmer was there. He was making that runs into the box. His presence, his positioning in the attacking sense was good. And Palmer's finishing technique is actually very, very good. Uh, is actually very, very good in the City team. So I'm not too worried about Palmer missing that. The encouragement is Palmer has got into those positions. I think we'll see a lot of Palmer in the coming seasons for City. Anyway, guys, it's been a good match. It's been a relaxing match, I would say, and we must not read too much into the result because we must read much into the objective of playing this match. The objective of playing this match was to know more about the players: Gomez, Palmer, Sia Charles, Calvin Phillips, and Rico Lewis in the midfield. So players like that. So Sergio Gomez at left back, and the objective has been fulfilled for me. So I think don't read much into the results. And if someone would have said to us 2 3 weeks ago that you drop points in the last two matches, but you'll be winning the Premier League before that, we are like, I don't care which matches we drop the points as long as we win the Premier League. So and if Arsenal fans will say that we should have been till the end with City, they drop points here. I'm still sure if we had to win these fixtures, I think we win both these fixtures against Brighton and against Brentford. I'm way sure of that. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for joining me, and see you again in the FA Cup final against Manchester United against the Racks. That will be our quest for a second trophy in what will be a challenge to put ourselves that one more step closer to etching ourselves in the history in the eternity of being immortal. That will just be fantastic game. Anyway, guys, see you all and take care and enjoy the weekend. Probably one of the most relaxing weekends we have had in the last 2 3 seasons, right? Last season, Aston Villa game. Wow, it was so tense. Season before, and I think season before as well, it was close. It came to the last day. I think last 3 4 seasons, this is one of the most relaxing final 2 weeks of the season, I think, right? So just enjoy the season, guys, and take care. See you all.